Have you ever felt like you're walking through life looking through a high definition lens while everyone else is looking at things in standard definition? That's because as an INFJ, you have the ability to see things that others simply cannot see. Here are 11 ways this plays out in our INFJ lives. Number 1, INFJs see people hurting themselves and they won't allow us to help. Imagine standing on a shoreline and watching a ship sail straight toward the rocks. You wave, you yell, you send out flares, but these people, they just wave back and smile, unaware or at least not caring that the danger is there. As INFJs, we see the emotional patterns of those around us. We see their self-sabotage and we pick up on their quiet cries for help. But when we speak up, we're often dismissed as being dramatic, overreacting, or being too intense. The truth is, you're not too intense. You're just early. And the world, it's always misunderstood the ones who speak before the storm hits. Even worse, sometimes they might blame you for the storm. Hey, don't shoot the messenger. Number 2, INFJs see the future, but no one believes us. Whether it's politics, relationships, business, or society, INFJs often feel like time travelers stuck in the present. It's like you naturally feel where things are going years before they happen. But when an INFJ tries to warn people, they often look at us like we've lost our minds. Then later, when all of it plays out exactly as you said, it's usually either brushed off, or worse, the prediction is claimed by someone else. I knew that was going to happen, they'll say. Sure you did. But that's the INFJ curse. And carrying all of that knowing inside and trying to be silent about it, well, it's exhausting. Number 3, the INFJ pain of not being understood in deep conversations. You finally open up, you're finally yourself around someone, or maybe you bring up a topic that's raw, real, or meaningful, and then what happens? Blank stares. Or even worse, they laugh awkwardly like you just broke some unspoken rule of shallow conversation. Sorry, I don't know how to swim in the conversation kiddie pool. Number 4, INFJs and the dread of small talk. Small talk doesn't feel small to an INFJ. It feels suffocating. It's the equivalent of trying to breathe through a straw when your lungs are built for cold, clear mountain air. Now don't get me wrong, INFJs can do it when necessary, but shouldn't it just be a gateway to something more meaningful? Something with an actual purpose? INFJs see a picture with something far bigger than what happened during the Cubs game last week. And it really seems like others, they just can't see much deeper than sports and the news these days. And after a while, that starts to make you feel kind of invisible. Like your real self doesn't belong in the same room with these people, let alone in a conversation. Number 5, INFJs see the big picture in a herd mentality world. The truth is, society often rewards people who follow instructions, who repeat what they hear from the majority, and people who never question the frame around the picture. Well, I've got news for you. INFJs don't just question the frame. They even want to know who built the wall that the frame is hanging on. INFJs see the full system at work, and they see all of the moving parts. And we see the vast emotional currents underneath human and group behavior. Sounds cool, huh? It is. But you know what else it is? It's exhausting. Because while us INFJs are trying to move humanity forward, most people want to stay exactly where they are and never rock the boat. If you're an INFJ, you've probably spent much of your life feeling unseen. That's why I wrote INFJ Unlocked. It's not written to change you, it's written to be a mirror, a way for you to finally feel seen and understood. The link is in the description. Number 6, INFJs are often the black sheep or the scapegoat in social circles. Whether it's family, work, or friendships, INFJs often end up being the one who gets singled out when some sort of group tension builds. But why is that? It's because you see so deep into people and situations. And INFJs, they have the ability to speak what others are afraid to admit. They aren't afraid to ask hard questions without even raising their voice. And the truth is that people can subconsciously sense that you're not going along with the herd mentality script. And let's be honest, that freaks people out. So you get labeled as difficult or dramatic, or you just get left out altogether. And this happens to you unjustly because the majority of the time, you are the most honest and the most emotionally responsible person in the room. Number 7, INFJs have to watch people steal their ideas and get credit. It happens all the time. You suggest something innovative, and it's dismissed or ignored like it's a ridiculous idea. 2 weeks later, someone else says the same thing, and suddenly it's brilliant, and the group accepts it with open arms. And who gets the credit? That socially acceptable person who stole the idea from you. The truth is, INFJs don't push to be heard, and we usually aren't the loudest voice in the room. And that's because we genuinely come up with these ideas to help everyone, and we truly want everyone to succeed, only to be stabbed in the back. It's perfectly normal to be upset about this, but always remember that you are the one who plants the seeds. However hard it is to keep planting when you never get to see the harvest. Number 8, INFJs absorb everyone's feelings. Did I say everyone? Everyone. You walk into a room and you instantly sense who's stressed, who's angry, and who's collapsing on the inside. It's almost as if these people are labeled or something. And as an INFJ, you absorb it all like a sponge. I can tell you right now that other people, they can't see and feel emotions from others like an INFJ can. So it's no wonder that you feel tired simply by being around others. And you should never, ever feel guilty for that. Number 9, INFJs edit themselves to be better understood. INFJs often work at translating their real thoughts into digestible language for the people around them. And often we'll soften our insights so that people won't feel threatened. We'll even smile when we're actually dying inside, just so others won't feel awkward. Being considered too much and too deep in a surface level world forces INFJs to become emotional editors of their own soul. And that, my friends, is exhausting. One of the best things that I've found to overcome this is to stop editing myself and to simply be my true, authentic self around everyone. And when an INFJ does this, it's going to automatically cut out 90% of the energy draining people in their lives. And trust me when I say, that's exactly what INFJs need most. Number 10, the INFJ exhaustion of being misread again and again. Here are some strange facts about the world. You're kind, so people assume you're weak. You're quiet, so people think you're shy. You're composed, so people don't see the storm that you're actually managing inside. And for an INFJ, being misinterpreted isn't just annoying, it's lonely. And often, it ends up being an emotional burden to us. In other words, INFJs can read others so well, yet nobody can read us in return. And they constantly misinterpret us. Really, it's like being fluent in a language that nobody else speaks and that nobody else wants to learn. Yep, exhausting. Number 11, the INFJ cost of being able to see all sides. INFJs can usually see all sides in a debate. They see why both people feel hurt, why both systems include both truth and corruption. And let me tell you, in today's society, that ability is rare. And unfortunately, it usually means you never quite belong to any tribe. Because as an INFJ, you refuse to fully surrender your integrity just to fit in. And if all of this feels too familiar, I want you to know this. You're not broken, you're not weak, and you're not too much. You're just seeing life with a deeper lens. And it's one that most people will never understand. So yes, it's exhausting, but it's also something that the world really needs. Now, more than ever. And if you want to know why INFJs are awesome just as they are, watch this video next.